I've been working with cheese since 2002, so a little over 11 years right now. And I was never trained officially as a cheesemaker. I worked with the physically and mentally handicapped almost all of my life, and I had something happen in my family where I needed to be at home. And so when I got home, I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, cheese is something I've been interested in, and I started getting textbooks and reading and practicing, and eventually I had the state come out and help me with my regulations so that I could be permitted to have a raw milk permit to make cheese. I make both raw milk cheeses. That would be an aged cheese like cheddar or Monterey Jack. Aged cheese is made with raw milk, and it's usually done in a large vat. It has to be aged for 60 days after it's made before it can be given to the farmer or sold to the general public. And it needs to be aged 60 days because during that time cycle, the E. coli will die. And that way we know that we have a safe product to sell. As a general rule, when you're making an aged cheese, like a cheddar or a Monterey Jack, you would get about 9/10 of a pound out of every gallon of milk. And I also make fresh products, fresh cheeses like fresh mozzarella, cream cheese, cottage cheese. Fresh cheeses are pasteurized, and I pasteurize my milk at 145 degrees, which is a low temperature, for 30 minutes. And that cooking process will also kill the E. coli in the fresh cheese, so that when I'm finished with the cheese that day, it can be sold that day. I do make goat cheese. Cheese made from goats is a little bit different flavor. It has a little bit of a tangy flavor that is missing in the cow's milk, and it's a really interesting flavor to develop in the cheese. So while the majority of what I do is cow milk, I do some of the goat milk cheese also. My favorite cheese to make is mozzarella, because it's a really interesting cheese that's very challenging to make because you have to be pinpoint on the pH levels, and that's very difficult to learn how to do. But once you get the curd made, then you get to stretch it almost just like it's taffy, and you can also put it into a mold, or you can put it into water to give it a little bit more of an authentic look. Whey is the liquid product that's released from the curd as the curd is cooking. And if you look at processed foods contents list, you will always see that there's dehydrated whey listed as one of the contents, because whey is a very, very good high protein food. Well, after the cheese is aged for 60 days, we would cut it down into half-pound packages. That's generally what farmers want. And vacuum pack the cheese. And if you remove all of the air from the bag, then you don't have any trouble with molds growing on the cheese. So it's a very, very safe way of packaging. All of the equipment that you see here in the plant, most of it gets tested every 3 months, and I get visited every 3 months, and I have to send my product out for testing every 3 months. And all of that is done to ensure that the general population stays well after they've been eating a product. I have about 7 local farmers that bring milk to me. Each farmer will have a different kind of herd. It may be a Guernsey herd, it may be a Jersey herd, it may be a mixed herd, and that makes the milk very, very different.
My name is Beth Rice. I'm from Bad Farm in Kempton. It stands for Beth and Dave Rice. My husband and I have been milking cows for about 30 years. We have been bringing our milk to Debbie for about 4 years. We bring it to her because she has all the permits and the license to make the cheese. We have a Pennsylvania State raw milk permit, which allows us to bring the milk to her. Normally we bring milk to Debbie every Monday. We bring about 105 gallons, and then she can make it into various kinds of cheese for us.
I am working with local farmers in this area. These are farmers that bring their milk to me. I make their cheese for them, and then they take their products and they sell them locally. So it's all about staying close to home with your products. People can purchase the cheese that I make at the farms of my farmers. or oftentimes at farmers markets, local farmers markets in this area, like the Lebanon Farmers Market, the West Reading Farmers Market, you know, any farmers market that's popping up in almost all small towns right now. You could find it there.